Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Uncut Jams. Real Batman. Got to do the sound effects myself today. Dante's out of town, but the sound and the audio and video will suffer. The sound and the audio, that's right. Not just the sound by itself. But we're here, and by we, I mean me and whoever's listening. I could have just took the week off, but I'm like, you know what? Just keep it going. You know what I mean? I said I'm going to do 100 episodes without complaining about anything or quitting, because I've started and stopped so many podcasts that I got to see what happens if I continue with one. You know, I already invested in the chair. I've been paying a producer. I've been doing my best, and sometimes that's the best you can do. The best is the best you can do. I think that's in the literal sense. Maybe I could try harder. I could probably edit more clips and maybe push things a little harder, promote a little harder, but there's only so much time in the day. So maybe I'm not doing my best, but I'm doing a fine job for the early days. What episode are we on? 26 or something like that. Who knows? Love Island puts out fucking 30 episodes in 4 weeks. So maybe I'm not trying that hard. Maybe I got to get on their level. People want to see people live now. Like, Love Island is just like watching people live, and streamers are like the new thing, just watching people live. So maybe this whole doing a podcast for 45 minutes to an hour a week isn't even worth it, and I should just record my whole life and see if people like that. Or it'll be a giant waste of time. Either way, we're putting the work in. We're putting the hours in. If you want to be good at something, they say put 10,000 hours in, right? And for podcasting, I don't know. I had one where we did 76 episodes. That was me and Rahil Sheikh, the Wet Beak. Shout out the Wet Beak. That was my longest one. So that's 76 hours right there. We've done 26 here. We're at 100. And then I've done like 3 other ones that have started and stopped, but probably didn't get past 20 episodes. So let's just say I'm about 200 hours in to the 10,000 hours of podcasting. So I'm not even close to being good at it. But if you're listening right now, thanks. And maybe you see some potential in this being good in the future. And you're like, I got in on the ground level. And that's dope. Yeah. So doing a podcast by myself, not with just speaking out into the void right now, right? I don't have anyone here to laugh at my jokes. I don't have any sound effects to play. So it's just, this is the real bare bones. Whenever Dante goes away, this is what it's going to be like. And I don't really have much going on in life right now to talk about, nothing exciting. Actually, I do have something exciting going on. That LaRussell show is coming up July 26th. That's this month. So if you haven't got a ticket to that, come through. If you don't know who LaRussell is, go check out his page because he's fucking dope. On one of the first episodes of this podcast, I talked about how some of his lyrics inspire me as a comedian, and I posted the clip, and he reached out to me and was like, come open up the show. So if you've been paying attention since then, it's about that time. And that was in January, and it was very exciting, and now it's almost here, and I'm like, man, I better start thinking of some stuff to say, because it's a 2 p.m. show, and comedy in the afternoon is kind of weird. Comedy opening up a rap show, also weird. And it's at the Rec Room, which is like high ceilings and not great for comedy. So all the odds are against me, but we're going to overcome odds and we're going to do a good job. When I talked to him, I said, I don't know if your crowd's going to want to hear comedy. And he's like, I've done it back home. Just don't fuck it up. So the goal is to just not fuck it up. Right? And I'll do my best. So you guys can either come watch that and see me succeed or see me not fuck it up, or maybe you'll get to see me fuck it up and maybe we'll have a fun story out of that. But I think it's going to be a good time. I think I'm going to do good, and I know the show's going to be great. I wanted to go to the show either way. I wanted to go watch him perform. He seems like a great performer, and I'm just excited to be there, But I have had a nightmare about how it's going to go, and it wasn't really about me doing bad, but it was like I need Dante there to, document the day. I'm hoping to have him film some stuff for me that day and stuff. And I had a dream or a nightmare that it was the day of the show and he didn't show up. And I was like, yo, man, I wanted to like record this. This is like the coolest thing I've got to do. In comedy. Well, it's not even in comedy. I guess it's just like in entertainment in general. But either way, it's one of the cooler things I've got to do in life. And I was like, man, this guy didn't come with his camera. And then I was like, man, what am I even going to talk about up there? So I was like really unprepared. But good thing is I can do crowd work. So even if I didn't think about a fucking joke between now and then, I'll work the crowd and we'll have some fun. Anyways, like I said, nothing exciting is going on in life right now. But no, that is exciting. I am looking forward to that. But what I did want to do today, instead of talking about myself or what's going on here and not having anyone to shoot the shit with, I asked my Instagram followers, if you're not following me, follow me on Instagram at James. Come on now. I put a little link up for some anonymous questions. And we're going to go through those today, see what people wanted to know about me or what's going on. The first question is, are the nosebleeds from cocaine? If this is the first episode you're tuning into, the nosebleeds, I had a burst of blood vessel, which was like in my head above my nose. It was coming out of my nose and my mouth. It was disgusting. And people are asking, is it from cocaine? When I told both my mom and my dad separately, because they are divorced, when I told them about it, both of them had the same reaction. What are you putting up your nose? So I think when people have nosebleeds like that as an adult, the first question that does come to people's mind is, are you doing cocaine? And no, I'm not doing cocaine. I've never been a cocaine guy. I've done cocaine in my life, but the last time I've done it is like probably a year ago now. And I've never really like been a cocaine guy. It's never like I see people having fun on it and having great conversations, or they think they are. They're passionately talking about whatever. And it's just never like been that great a vibe for me. I've never been like, I need to do more coke. If somebody has cocaine and they're like, do a bump, and I'm like drunk and I want to get, a little more woken up, that's the time that I've done it in life. But I could probably count on one hand how many times I've done cocaine. And I can't even count that high. So that's why I like to keep these things low. You know what I mean? When you're a stupid person and people want to know how many times you did things, it's like, I better keep it under 10. Because once it gets over 10, we don't have any more fingers to count. What am I going to take my socks off and count my toes? Is that what you want me to do? Anyways, the nosebleeds are not from cocaine. I'm actually going to see a specialist this Friday. They've stopped. It was like a week and a half of bleeding like crazy. And they did stop. But when all that was going on and I went to the emergency room, they booked me with an ear and nose specialist. And I think I might as well just go see him and see what's up. Because what if this does come back? Like, it's not something that I want to live with. I hope it's gone for good. We're going to find out. So the answer to that question is no, it's not from cocaine. And no, I'm not a big cocaine guy. But if you catch me out and about hammered and I want to be less drunk, offer me some cocaine. Maybe I'll do it. Right now, I probably wouldn't because I'm afraid of it reopening the nose thing. But yeah, not a big coke guy. Not a big coke guy. As far as drugs go, I've always loved weed. I like shrooms a little bit. I've done a little acid. And there was a year or two where I was like loving Molly. But definitely, I think that took some serotonin out of me for life. If you do too much, Molly is fun. The two drugs that I think everyone should try, neither is cocaine. And I don't even count weed. I think everyone should try shrooms because it opens up a part of your mind that you don't have access to unless you do shrooms. And you might have some revolutionary thoughts and open your mind to some things. Like, the first time I did one of the first times I did mushrooms was the first time I listened to rock and roll. Wow, what a marriage that is. Mushrooms and rock and roll go really well together. Like, my whole childhood, elementary school, high school, I was all pretty much rap, hip hop, R&B, and I was going to say dancehall and reggae, and then I said deggae. I was going to put the two words together, but dancehall and reggae. Very black music influenced I was, which I guess you could say rock and roll is too. So maybe I just found my way to it in the reverse. But I did mushrooms at a friend's house, and their dad had a bunch of records, like as you can see behind me. These aren't them, but they were also records. And a lot of classic rock, like 70s, 60s. And we put some records in, and holy shit. Music on mushrooms in general, so good. I'm wearing a Bob Marley shirt right now, and it reminds me, I was having a bad trip one day when I did mushrooms by myself, and I just wanted to watch, like, here's the thing, I work at a mushroom shop sometimes, and I used to only do mushrooms like once a year, maybe twice sometimes, but working at the mushroom shop, sometimes they give me samples to take home. I just end up with too much mushrooms, and I was like, okay, I want to just do mushrooms and watch this cartoon, because some cartoons I've watched on mushrooms really fucking amazing. A Bug's Life, holy shit. A Bug's Life was so good when I was on mushrooms that I was actually holding my hand up to the screen being like, I don't even deserve to watch this right now. This is so good. It was a like beautiful artwork, but also great story. Kevin Spacey plays the bad guy in that movie, and he, like, say what you will about him being a predator, he plays the fuck out of a bad guy. Holy shit, the guy does a good job playing a bad grasshopper. That one, and a B movie. A B movie, if you like Jerry Seinfeld and you like the way he does jokes, that whole movie is like one long Seinfeld joke, and I was just also amazed by it. I could look the whole time. I didn't have to hold my hand up to the screen and say I don't deserve this right now, but I was definitely enjoying it. Great one. So I got into this thing where I'm like, okay, sometimes I just like to do mushrooms and watch a cartoon, and sometimes it's really fun. But there was one day I was doing it, and I put on Inside Out, and it was like too like emotionally engaged for me. Really, like I couldn't handle it. So then I turned it off, tried to watch something else, couldn't do it. Then I just started having a bad trip. I was like, I can't watch anything. So I turned on some music. I was gonna say, every time I'm like, I wanted to say Alexa, but she's right outside this door, and she might go, oh, what do you want? What do you want? It's like, Alexa, I'm just trying to fucking tell a story here. I'm not asking you to get involved. But anyways, I asked Alexa to play Bob Marley. And Bob Marley's so good. He has so many great songs. Like, I probably listened to Bob Marley for like 3 hours that day and like didn't have to skip a track. Like, so many bangers. And the first song that came on, it didn't calm me down right away. It was Could You Be Loved? And I was like, can I be loved? I really started thinking about the lyrics. I'm like, can I be loved? I'm like, am I unlovable? I mean, like, people love me, but like, I was really like thinking about the song and like how I've been in relationships and stuff, and I'm like, can I be loved? Can I be loved? And will I be able to love back? Is the other question that we need to ask. But anyways, that song was like a bit of an emotional roller coaster. But then next one was like Wait in Vain, or one of the more like chill, like slower songs. And yeah, Bob. Then I left myself like a 2-hour voice note, and most of it is just me going, Bob Marley's sick. And I'm sick. Yo, this is a vibe. You know, like, I'm just like vibing out, listening to Bob Marley, thinking about how great he is, and like how, you know, I'm kind of great myself. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to give yourself a pat on the back when you're on mushrooms. After you've made it out of a hard part of the trip, you started off all scared and everything. Now you're just listening to Bob Marley, having a good time. Why not? Why not enjoy that, right? The voice note was too long for me to listen to, but as I scrolled through it, like at least 4 times in the 2 hours, it was just me going back to being like, Bob Marley is fucking sick. Bob Marley. I love docu-pics about musicians, and I love Bob Marley. I haven't watched that one yet. I'm going to watch it and come back with my review next week. But the ones that I do love, the James Brown Get On Up, unreal. The Doors movie, so good. That's another one that I watched coming down from mushrooms or acid for the first time, and it was like great movie. Guy loved drugs also. Ray. I remember, I don't know, I think my dad like rented like a projection screen for a Super Bowl when that same year that movie came out. So me and one of my good friends were like, well, let's watch a movie on it. And we watched Ray. I didn't know anything about Ray's life. I didn't know it was sad. I knew he was blind, which is sad, but like every time I see him playing the piano, he looks happy. Guy had a pretty tough life. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but like, me and my friend were like, if you weren't here right now, I might have cried during that movie. Sometimes you just got to hold it together in front of your boy. But that movie, definitely an emotional roller coaster as well. And why am I talking about this? Because of docu-pics, and I need to see the Bob Marley one. And we'll get to that next week. I haven't heard great things about it. The ones that I haven't seen that have come out recently, I haven't seen the, what's that guy's name? Bob Dylan. I haven't seen his. Heard it was good. I haven't seen the Rocket Man about Elton John, and I haven't seen, what's the other one that came? Oh, the Queen one. I heard the Queen one's great. So I got to check out all those, and I'll start reviewing docu-pics. Just add another fucking piece of content to my life. As I'm vlogging the whole thing, I'll just vlog myself watching docu-pics. Maybe that'll be my thing. No, that doesn't sound like a good thing. This is the thing. When I'm by myself, I have a lot of bad ideas, but some good ones too. Next question is, what do you do when you're not doing comedy? Not much, to be honest. These days, I mean, there was one weekend I didn't have comedy. Went to a bonfire. I like to be outside as much as I can. Went to a bonfire. And then the other day was if I can chill with some of my old friends. I've had a lot of my friends my whole life. Like since I was in kindergarten, my closest friend, and most of them since elementary school, a couple in high school. I like that whole Drake thing about no new friends. I can relate. I didn't really make any new friends from like high school until I started doing comedy. Like I just I've had the same boys my whole life, which is really nice. I'm really blessed to have good friends. So when I'm not doing comedy, I like to hang out with them because they don't do comedy. So and they would come to my shows when I was new. And a lot of comedians, it's like that. When you're new, your friends will come out and show up as like a big group. But then when you're fucking couple years in, and now I'm almost 8 years in, like people will come, but they're not gonna come all together. So it's hard in general. You grow older, it's like hard to get all the boys together. Even like the other day, we were trying to link up like me and a good core group of like 5-6 guys that have all known each other since high school, and at the last second, 2 of them canceled, and then it was still 3 or 4 of us, and it was still nice. But like the 2 of the guys that didn't show up are 2 of my favorite guys. I'm like, I really was hoping to see them too. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the guys that were there. They're also some of my favorite guys. These are all my favorite friends from life. So it's just nice when everyone can get together. It's hard when you get older. So if you're for some reason a young kid listening to this podcast, cherish those moments with your friends while you can, because eventually people are going to have kids. They're going to have to we all grew up in Brampton. No one can afford a house in Brampton, so anyone that did buy a house had to move like an hour away, and we all get pushed apart, and then you only see each other at some point. People only see each other at like maybe birthdays, but then it's like weddings and funerals. So it's like we're either going to celebrate something or we're going to be sad about something. And that's just life. I guess that is just life. You're either going to be celebrating or sad about something. And hell yeah, this episode is not going to be that funny, is it? Anyways, so be outside and be with friends. That's what I like to do when I'm not doing comedy. Now, next question is, who would win in a fight between me and Dante? Dante's not here right now, and I would love for him to be able to weigh in on this, because I actually don't know if he can fight. I know he likes watching UFC, so I know he has like an interest in the fight game, but if I'm being honest, I think I would beat the shit out of him. No, I don't know. I actually don't know. I think we're about the same weight class, so it might be a good fight. But the thing is, I used to be able to fight, but I'm like so much heavier and out of shape now that I haven't been in a fight since 2019 was the last time I got in a fight. Last time I got in a fight, I won most of the fights I've been in. But last time I got in a fight, 2019. No, it wasn't. It was probably 2008. It was before 2019. 2017, maybe. And I was with a girl at the time, and we were at a club on New Year's Eve. And we're just by the dance floor having a drink. And a guy went to go behind my girl, and I didn't get like angry right away. I just like touched his shoulder, and I was like, yo, just keep it moving, buddy. And then he's like, don't touch me, bro. And he started like getting in my face. And I said with a smile on my face, calmly, just keep it moving, buddy. And then he's like really like squaring up to me, putting his chest in my chest, like, don't touch me. And then I just grabbed his head, gave him a couple shots, got behind him. I used to wrestle. That's the thing. This is the bad news for Dante if we ever got in a fight. At one point, I was the number 1 wrestler in Ontario and second in Canada. I got the medals to prove it, but that's a long fucking time ago, and got super out of shape since then. My cardio was so good back in the day. I used to run to school, play soccer in the morning, play football in the afternoon. Like I was just playing sports all day. I would run to school, which is crazy to me. I remember I used to run to football practice, and sometimes somebody on my team would like drive by and be like, hey, you want to ride? I'm like, no, I'm just getting a jog in before I get to practice. Now I cannot run to the end of my street. Like it not well, at least. Like I used to have such good cardio. Anyways, back to the fight. So I gave him a couple shots in the face, and then he tried to swing on me, but I gave him a duck under. If you know wrestling, it's like pushing the elbow, or just under the elbow up to get behind the guy. So pushing his one arm up as he swung on me, got behind him. almost locked in a choke, but I was like kind of like forearm was on his mouth, and he tried to start biting me, and then I was like, okay, if he's gonna bite me, I'm locking in the choke. So then I got under his chin, locked in the choke, and the whole fight probably lasted like 40 seconds, but he did end up asleep on the floor. So that was cool. That was my last fight. Dante, you want some of this shit? Now he knows my moves. Fuck. I don't even know what he can do. I don't know if he's like a great boxer. Like, I'm not a great striker. Like, I definitely need to try and get behind someone and lock in a choke. That's how I'm winning my fights. I've been in some. I never start. That's the closest thing I've been into like starting a fight. Most of the fights I've been in when I was in my early 20s was like friends getting into something, and then I go in to help and have a pretty good record. I'm not gonna be on here bragging about fighting the whole time, but all I'm gonna say is, Dante, if you want to come get your ass whooped, come see me. We'll see you when you get back. No, I don't want to fight Dante. That would really probably fuck up the vibe of the podcast. So whoever's asking that, what's your problem? Maybe it was Dante that asked that. I just wanted to check in and see if I thought I could beat him up. And I think I could. Just because I don't think he's been in many fights. But we'll talk when next week on the podcast. We're gonna ask Dante about his last fight and see if it even exists. If he hasn't been in fights, I am confident I could beat him up, even though I'm out of shape and old. But if he's been in a bunch of fights and he's actually like does this UFC shit that he watches, then I might be in trouble. All right. Next person didn't even ask a question. They just said, I enjoy watching your pod every week. And thank you. When I was at that bonfire, one of my friends, it was his nephew's birthday. This is my friend that I've known since I was like 4 years old. So I've known this. Well, he's not a kid anymore, but I've known him since he was a kid. And he listens to the pod every week. Shout out Trayvon, yo, if you're listening right now. Hopefully you didn't skip this episode when you got 5 minutes in and realized it was just me contemplating my own life here. And but yeah, when I was at his birthday, we were having a bonfire, and he told me he listens to the pod every week, and he was shouting it out to his boys too that don't know me. He's like, you guys got to check out his podcast. So please, people, if you are enjoying the podcast, spread the word. But then I think you might. I don't know. I actually don't know if any strangers are listening to this. If I know everyone listening, I've had some episodes that do pretty well, but like I think overall my average might be like 50 views on YouTube, and I don't even want to know what's going on the Spotify. I don't even ask Dante because I don't want I want to do 100 episodes and not worry about numbers. That's why, because I think like anything takes time to build, and who knows what this will be in 100 episodes. But like we have a couple good ones, and we'll try and get better. But thank you. If you are enjoying watching it every week, that means we're on the right track, and it's still early days. The next one is, what's your favorite porn to watch? The last 2 years I've been trying to like, I'm not going to say I don't watch porn at all, but I haven't been into it as much. So I don't have like a favorite type right now, but I will tell you, like, I've got into some, I don't know if you'd call it a wormhole, but I've like had some things come up on the algorithm that like sucked me in for a while that I'm like, I don't know if I should watch this anymore. Cause one of the ones years ago, I don't know why it kept coming up, but there was this thing called Princess Cum, and it was all about girls trying to trick guys to come inside them. And that's like a dangerous thing to become your thing when you're just like, I hope a girl tricks me to come inside of her. So that one I had to cut out, but I definitely got into it. Like there was a year that I got into it, and like that year there was at least 2 girls that asked me to come inside them, and I obliged. I did not say no. I was like, this is, yeah. I'm like, ooh, did you just say, please come inside me? Did you say, fill me up? Like, what the fuck? It's like, girls, you say some sexy things. And when my dick's inside you, if you have a, pretty face and you're saying the right things, it's like, it's hard to say no. And that's exactly what that porn's all about. Princess Cum, check it out. These girls are just tricking me. Like, these ones are like aggressive. Like, guys are trying to pull out, and the girls are like wrapping the legs around them, being like, no, I'm not letting you get away. I'm not letting you get away. It's like, damn, yo. I don't know why I got into that, but that's probably the one type of porn that I got into for a bit that I'm like, I got to cut this shit out. And now that I'm telling the story, probably going to have to watch some tonight. It's been a while, though. I haven't there's probably a whole bunch of new episodes. I might get fucking sucked into that for the next 3 months. I got to stay away from coming inside girls. What's up next? We got, was last week's pod an all-time low for views? I don't think so. It wasn't. The thing is, it came after having like 2 really, decent views in a row. And then I don't know. Last week I had Jared on, which he's a great guest. You know what I mean? He's He's probably one of the more famous guests I've had on, but he didn't share the episode. So, I mean, like, people helping people, it's powerful stuff. It probably could have had one of the most views, but if you ain't sharing the clip, maybe he didn't like the clip. I thought he would like the clip. I never know. Sometimes I'm like cutting clips and then I look at like a bunch that I've posted and it's like me just shitting on my guest. But this wasn't me shitting on him. This was him telling his story about getting kicked out of the strip club. And he said he likes to tell that story on stage, so I don't think it's a story that he's afraid of getting out there or anything. But anyways, it wasn't. I don't think it was the lowest. I think probably one of the solo episodes is probably one of the lowest. And this one, hey, let's try and set a record for all-time low with this one. I like, what am I going to make a clip out of this? I guess I'll have to dig through it and see if I said anything funny, but it's, yeah. When you're solo, like, it's hard to tell what's funny because, like, usually if I at least have Dante here, when he laughs at something, I'm like, oh, that was funny. But when I'm just being funny by myself or not at all, it's hard to tell. The other day I did a show where there was a guy in the front row that wasn't laughing at anything. Like, and I was like third on the lineup, so I had noticed it already. And then I went up and like I said something that made most of the crowd laugh, but he was still there not laughing. So I was like, do you even speak English? I asked him. And he's like, yeah, I do. And he had an accent, but like he did speak English. He spoke fine English. He was from Nigeria. He spoke fine English. And I was like, yeah, that actually makes it worse. Because at least if like you're a comedian up on stage and you're like, oh, that one guy that was just mean mugging me the whole time, he just didn't speak English. He didn't understand what I was saying. But it's like, no, he understood perfectly. And you just weren't funny, or he didn't think so at least. When everyone else is laughing around, that's fine. One person can't. Actually, I can't lie. That has bothered me before. In Ottawa, when I was in Ottawa in December, like most people were laughing, but there was this one row of people that was just not laughing at all. And it was like really bothering me. I was headlining, so I had to do a long set. I was doing like 45 minutes. And I kept looking at this one row like, everyone else is having fun. These guys aren't laughing. So eventually I called it out. And the lady was, I think I had like a lot of sex jokes, which I do. And she was just like, I just think, I said, why aren't you laughing at all? Like, you don't find anything funny? And then she said, I think sex jokes are overrated. And I said, okay, what do you want to hear about? And then she said, do something about gambling. And then I did, and then it did make her laugh. So maybe it was my fault, but I was also looking at them like, what are you guys doing here? I kind of wanted to, this is an insane thing to do, but in my head that day, I was like, should I kick them out? Because like the whole rest of the crowd was having a good time. It wasn't a huge crowd. Let's say there was like 25 to 30 people there, but then there was 6 people all in the same row, not laughing at anything. And I was just like, they are fucking up my vibe. I would have so much fun if they weren't here right now. So I wanted to kick them out. Then I found out after the show that it was actually the owner's wife and her friends, and they didn't even buy a ticket. So they actually didn't buy a ticket, sat there and ruined the vibe of the show, but I couldn't kick them out even if I wanted to because it was the owner's wife. But it would have been funny to try and kick her out. And then for her be like, actually, my husband owns the place, so I'm not leaving. And that could have been a good clip. Comedian gets destroyed by owner's wife that doesn't think he's funny. Something like that. Is that a catchy? Is that a good hook? Everyone to do good clips, you need a good hook. And I don't have good hooks sometimes. You know what I mean? My best hook was for this podcast was talking about doing a show with a guy that ended up being caught on one of those pedophile hunter shows. So maybe I just need to cross paths with more pedophiles and tell those stories because they hook them in. Oh, they hook them in. Next question was just miss you, and I don't know who. This is the thing on this anonymous question thing. It's like, who miss you? I don't know who you are, but thanks, I guess. The next one is name a woman, and I purposely tried not to think about these questions before I started this up, and now that I'm seeing name a woman, I'm like, fuck, name a woman, fuck, name a woman. I was trying to think, like, what's the last movie I watched? Was there a big woman in that? And the last movie I watched was Reservoir Dogs, which I think has 0 women in it. What the fuck, Quentin Tarantino? You didn't like any feet on that one? Okay, here we go. Uma Thurman, she's right behind me. I'll name her. Also in a Quentin Tarantino movie. The reason I watched Reservoir Dogs is because Michael Madsen died the other day. If you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, great fucking movie. And Michael Madsen, really great character in it. I love him in that movie. I also love Chris Penn in that movie, who's also dead. So these great actors are dropping like flies. Chris Penn died years ago, but he plays a guy in that, Nice Guy Eddie, and Michael Madsen plays Mr. Blonde. They're a group of like gangsters. They I think they do different crimes, but like in this one, they're robbing a jewelry store, and they all don't know each other's names. There's Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink, Mr. Blonde, Mr. White, and Mr. Blue. And if you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, I'm not even going to say anything else. It's a all-time favorite of mine. Quentin Tarantino, I think, is my favorite director. And Name a Woman, Uma Thurman, who's in Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill. See, I know women. Who else is in Kill Bill? I think Lucy Liu. Is Lucy Liu in Pulp? Fuck, is she not in Kill Bill? I haven't seen that one in a while. Now I got to circle back on it. But Dante, look that up. Look that up and tell me in a week. Now, let's see. I hope she is. When I saw Kill Bill, I was pretty young. I was 2003. So what was I? 15. And my cousin took me, and I never even saw a preview for that movie. I had no idea what it was going to be about. Yeah, Lucy Liu's in it. Okay, phew. I'm like, there's all this stop Asian hate going on that I didn't want to fucking confuse Asians. You know what I mean? I didn't want to say some other Chinese lady's name, and it turns out it's not her. So I'm glad I got that one right. Uncancelable for today, at least. Next question is, do you like roast beef? And no, I mean, I don't hate it, but it's not something I've ever gone out of my way for. I'll eat it, but I'm never like, I'm in the mood for roast beef. As a kid, I didn't like it. I know that. Maybe it was my mom just wasn't a good cook. My mom didn't like to marinate. My mom's a good baker. I don't want to hate on my mom. My mom's great. Love you, Mom, if you're listening. But with meats, a lot of dry meat in that house. Maybe that's why my dad left. Sorry, guys. And by sorry, guys, I meant sorry, Mom, if you're listening. But I don't think my mom listens to it. I've asked her not to because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about on here. And but I appreciate your love and support, Mom and Dad, if you're listening. I don't think I know my dad don't listen. He said my comedy's too crude. I'm like, you cheated on my mom. Where's your morality then? All right. And the last question is, who's your favorite Love Island character right now? I forget why I brought up Love Island earlier, but it's been a roller coaster of a season. In past Love Islands, like usually, like if I have a crush on an islander, if there's a girl that I'm feeling like, I like the way she looks, like her personality, all that. I'll usually like her for that season. I'll be upset if she gets kicked off. But this season, so at the beginning, I liked Huda a lot. If you don't like watch Love Island, I guess I shouldn't get too much into this. But if you do watch Love Island, then you're gonna enjoy the next 5 minutes because I'm gonna explain every feeling that I've had with the ladies on this season of Love Island. So Huda, I liked that first, but then her personality kind of turned me off. So then I wasn't liking her that much. Then Sierra came in, and Sierra I found was pretty cute, face, nice smile, and whenever they do the challenges where it's like, do this sexy thing on somebody, do like a dance on somebody, like some kind of, they make out a lot, they spit on each other's mouths a lot, all kinds of shit. Anyway, Sarah just does some sexy shit that I was like, oh, she's hot. But then her personality kind of started bothering me because then her and the other two girls, or the other two main girls, Olandria and Shelly, beautiful girl, beautiful face, but her personality kind of started getting to me too because they actually started being kind of mean girls, the three of them. And then they were kind of ganging up on Huda, and then I started being like, "Oh man, I feel bad for Huda." Now I kind of like Huda again, but I don't know, Huda. I like her, but I wouldn't say she's my favorite. I think my clear cut favorite now is Amaya, and it ain't nothing to do with looks. It's just Amaya, the sweetest personality, America's sweetheart. She's so funny. She mispronounces words all the time. I don't know. She is a nurse, so I don't think she's like totally stupid, but she definitely sounds stupid, but in a cute way, in a sweet way, and definitely won me over. And I think she's gonna win the show. I've been checking out betting odds on this show, but I miss the boat every time. I miss the boat every time there's a good number, and by a good number I mean like if I bet $50, I could win $1,000. Like there was when Huda was like not looking good, but I kind of felt like she was gonna have a redemption arc. I was looking at her couple was with Chris, the 6'8" guy, and he kind of chilled her out because she was like crashing out like crazy before, but he chilled her out, and I was like, man, I think she might redeem herself. So when I looked at betting on that couple, it was like I don't have the number in front of me, but it was a crazy payout. And I didn't make that bet right that second. And sometimes if you see a good number, you got to hop on it right away. I'm not trying to encourage people to gamble, but if you see a number that's too good to be, actually not too good to be true, because if it's too good to be true, it is. And she might not, she probably won't win. Amaya is going to win the show. So either way, Amaya never had a good number because she's been popular. But there was one point where Huda and Chris paid out crazy, and Six Buzz posted, oh, they're doing Love Island odds on Bet99. And I didn't, or I did, I opened up Bet99, I checked it out. But then 10 minutes after they made that post, I guess a bunch of people probably hopped on and made bets. And then they're like, fuck, we got to adjust the numbers because too many people were betting. So the fact that I didn't bet it within that first 10 minutes fucked it up. And just a lesson. If Huda and Chris end up winning, I'm going to be pissed because I could have won $1,000 on fucking $50. Or I think it was more. I think it was $12.50 on like $50, which would have been sweet. But I didn't do it. And then, yeah. So who's my favorite Amaya? That's enough Love Island talk. Actually, we will say one more thing about Love Island. Sierra got kicked off the show. Sierra got kicked off the show because racist things came out that she said. One was from 2015, which when she was a fucking 15-year-old kid, which I think like there should be some statute of limitations, unless it's like some horrible things that she said. But what she said was, I don't know if I want to say it now because I'm like, but what am I say enough bad things that like I should be able to say, but I don't want to. I'm not racist, and I didn't even know this one was racist because this was like a word that was in a Chingy song, and it was like a top song on the Billboard charts. It was that song Jackpot where he's like, Chingy, why your eyes so blank? You know what I'll say? Okay, so the slur is directed towards Asians, specifically Chinese people, and I'll just call it blinkin'. So they said, so in his song, it was Chingy, why your eyes so blinkin'? Replace that with Chinese eyes. You get those Chinese eyes. I don't know why that came to mind. I was thinking like the song Hungry Eyes, but then replacing it with Chinese eyes. Anyways, so she posted, what was her, I think I screenshotted the picture of what she said. So what really happened is when they were on that Mean Girl shit, when her, Olandria, and Shelly were on that Mean Girl shit, because she had already been on the show for like 5 weeks, and some other girl already got kicked off because she said the N-word on a podcast as a grown-up. Now they reached out to this girl who's Puerto Rican Mexican, and she said, still blinking, even at the top, on this Instagram post where she's on top of a mountain from like 10 years ago. And people found that. And then they also found one that's a more recent one where she says, I can also be a little Chinese eyes when I laugh and smile. So I love getting a mini brow lift. It was like her after getting a brow lift saying that she does it so that she doesn't have Chinese eyes or blink, or she's not blinking too much. The word is CHINKIN. Is it illegal to spell out a slur? I won't do the N-word. I won't. I've spent my whole life not saying the N-word. I'm not going to start now. So that one, like, the reason I thought that one was so crazy is because, yeah, like, Chingy had a song about it. That's 20 years ago now. That song is old as fuck, but it was a course. It was on the radio. And I was, like, curious. I'm like, did he ever get backlash for that? I looked it up. I looked up if he ever got backlash for saying, Chingy, why your eyes so blinking? Is it because you've been smoking and drinking? I don't know. That's how it used to go. Chingy, why your eyes so Chinese eyes? I don't know. Is it because you've been smoking and drinking? Maybe so. It's actually a great song. It's called Jackpot. But I looked in. I'm like, did he get backlash for that? And it did say he got backlash, but it wasn't for that line. That line on the radio, no problem. What he got backlash for was he had a line in it that said, maybe you come get me, run out of town, then take me home and eat me. And people thought it was problematic because it was like too sexual for the radio. The song was like getting radio play, and they didn't give a fuck about him saying the Chinese eyes slur. Chingy, like, I don't know. I don't know, like, why I'm afraid to say it. I'm not going to be on Love Island. I'm too fat. I'm too old. I could get less fat, but I'm not going to get less old. And I think the age limit for that show is probably late 20s. So I missed the boat. And I don't want to be on Love is Blind Actually, I wouldn't mind being on. Fuck it, I would love to be on Love Is Blind. So I'm not going to say the slur. Love Is Blind. If you're casting, pull up this episode and remember that he had the restraint to not say slurs, even though he's trying to explain a story here. Chingy, why your eyes so blinking? Is it because you've been smoking and drinking? Anyways, now I guess she could have just changed the CHINKIN word to blinking, because Chinese people look like they're blinking. I'll just come out right now and say it. They look like they're blinking sometimes. I don't think that's a racist thing to say that some people have smaller eyes than other people, or bigger eyelids. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know why people are the way they are, but like, it's not racist to just notice something about someone. And yeah, when I was in high school, I think there was something with like light-skinned black girls that like maybe they're like 1/8 Chinese, but like they had some nicknames that were definitely along the lines with racial slurs towards Chinese people, but like not like in a bullying way. Like that was just their nickname in like a fun way. That was like their MSN name. You know what I mean? Like at least 2 or 3 girls who were light-skinned black girls with I don't know if they had Chinese people in their family, but they had Chinese people in their eyes. All right. Anyways, that is that with all the questions. Thank you for all the anonymous questions. And we will still close it out with our animal fun fact of the day. Did I not get one? Oh yeah, I did get one. Okay. Here's an animal fun fact from yahoo.com. A fun animal fact is that the only dog breed that can't bark is the Basenji. The Basenji. Where's the Basenji from? This is where it's like, it's good to have a producer where you can look things up while I'm talking. Because if this dog is Chinese, I think that'll be pretty cool. No, it's from Central Africa. It's from Central Africa. And I don't know why I would have thought if it was cool. I just like when things tie in. And we were just talking about this girl getting kicked off for a Chinese slur. It'd be nice to have a Chinese dog on the show that doesn't bark. So this dog's bite is definitely worse than its bark, for sure. Without a doubt, it has a bite worse than its bark. That's all I can say about the dog. It is a cute dog. Having a dog that doesn't bark would be kind of sick. Is it like a wolf? Oh, maybe it's just maybe. Can we get a Basenji? Do they sell them here? Let's see. A dog that doesn't bark sounds kind of nice, but then like, will you miss the bark? I know, like, my sister had a dog. I mean, she still has a dog. His name's Rex. I named him because he's like a little like Yorkie poo, half Yorkshire Terrier, half poodle, and I thought that was a pretty gay breed of dog. And I just wanted to give him a stronger name, Rex. But you should see the way he run and jump, because you can still tell he's gay as hell. And I mean that in a loving way. Shout out Rex. Okay, Basenji for sale, Toronto. Let's see how much a Basenji is. Basenji bought puppies in Toronto. Adopt a pet. They got, well, I guess they're not going to show me a price on a fucking adopting one, are they? How much does a Basenji cost in Canada? You guys want to get your guesses in? It's a dog that doesn't bark. It's pretty cute. And many breeders can take advantage of this fact and ask for higher prices in a range from $1,500 to $2,000, which sounds like an average price for a dog. I haven't bought a dog in my whole life, but it sounds like a good deal. I might get myself a Basenji. You might see a Basenji on the show. A dog that doesn't bark sounds pretty sick. Anyways, our last thing that we do around here, you know what the fuck it is. We're going to see what God has in store for us today. Without the music. All right. We're going to the book of Psalms 73, the false happiness of the wicked. How good God is to the upright, the Lord to those who are clean of heart. But as for me, I am almost lost my balance. My feet all but slipped because I was envious of the arrogant when I saw them prosper, though they were wicked. Yeah, I feel that. I definitely feel that. Like, I try not to envy too much, especially like I have changed my I have changed my wicked ways. Envy's not a good trait to have. I got in a fortune cookie the other day. It said, learn from those who are successful. Don't envy them. And I think that's a great thing. Like, instead of being like, man, why do they have all that? Think, hey, how do they have all that? Don't ask why, ask how. And then